Hey everyone, welcome back to Joy at Work. Glad you're here. Thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by and reflect with me on what we can do to experience joy in the workplace. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much. Spend a lot of time in the workplace. In fact, new research from Microsoft suggests that there's a 16% uh, increase in the number of people who are working up and past 8 p.m. There's a lot going on in the workplace, AI. There will be days to talk about that, but there's a lot going on. Our systems press upon us and almost demand certain responses from us. We engage with the system, we can't really escape it, we're part of it. And so sometimes it can feel like we have no other alternative. And there's some situations where maybe that's the truth or almost the truth. But I do think for some of us, we can pause, ponder, and think about what we can do, where we have agency to influence our situation or to respond in different ways. At least that's what I believe, and that's sort of the motive behind joy at work. So today I just want to reflect on the way we think about work in general. And I thought about this and posted this on LinkedIn earlier this week. So if we're not connected, let's connect. But many people see their organization as a rational or predominantly rational entity, almost machine like. So, with things working, orchestrated in a certain way, information flowing up and down clearly, at least people have this image of what the workplace should look like. And an example of this is when an email goes to a manager and not directly to the person who it should go to or who thinks it should have come to them, there's this reaction. It didn't follow the process. What's wrong with us? It should have gone this way, not that way. And some people get very worked up when the workplace doesn't follow this predictable, organized, almost deterministic flow that they have in their head. And there's no doubt that parts of our organization act mechanical in nature. There's no doubt there are things that feel that way. But a lot of what we experience in our organization is contradiction. It's politics, it's conflict, it's mixed messages, it's defensive routines, it's humans being humans. It's politics, people trying to satisfy their personal needs a lot of times, or it's organizational anxiety, it's theater, it's we got to do all these things, even though we know they provide little to no value to create the appearance that we are working very hard or that we know what we're doing. That's what organizational life is truly about. And the sooner you can come to terms with this reality, the sooner like this in my viewpoint becomes something you just understand and becomes part of your belief, the sooner you're able to like operate and navigate differently even within that environment. It all of a sudden opens the door to why certain things that don't make sense or should not make sense. It helps explain why some leaders stubbornly cling to outdated ideas. It's not anything wrong necessarily with the leader, but has everything to do with changing their commitment causes a whole bunch of other things that have to change along with them. And then the individual begins to think, well, am I really ready to give whatever I have to give up as a result of changing my mind or thought or belief on this thing? So, this is the reality of organizational life. And you and I are not like immune to it, and we're not free of it. It's not like we stand outside of it and don't contribute in our own way. I don't care how noble you think you are or how noble you are. Like we all in our own ways contribute to this game we play in the workplace. So the point today is really not to provide any actionable, well, maybe this is actionable, but it's not to provide like tips and tricks that I normally do, but it's to cause you to really rethink what work is, what happens, how we interact with each other, how we're always negotiating between ourselves where we want to go and how to go. And this is not despair and doom. We've all worked, well, many of us, I hope, have worked with people that we've enjoyed working with and have accomplished great things. But until we understand the reality that is the organization, the fact that it's a bunch of messes we're dealing with, we will find ourselves constantly frustrated and feeling despair and loss of hope. So, challenge, maybe rethink your fundamental thoughts about the organization and see how it helps you find and experience joy next week. All right. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you soon. Be safe. Bye.